So, what if I told you the secret to being seen by AI isn't in some complex, futuristic algorithm, but in a dusty old invention from the 1800s? It sounds kind of wild, right? But believe it or not, the story of the very first public telephone holds the key to just about everything we need to understand about digital visibility today.
All right, so let's set the scene. We're in New Haven, Connecticut, and the date is super specific, January 28th, 1878. Now, this isn't just some random day. This is the moment a technology that would absolutely change the world wasn't just invented, it was finally unleashed on the public.
So picture this. You're walking down the street and suddenly there's this simple wooden booth. And inside, a telephone. The promise it offered was absolutely incredible. For the first time, connection for everyone. You see, for about 2 years, the telephone was basically an exclusive club. It was tucked away in fancy private offices, connecting only people who already had a direct line. You needed it in. But this booth, man, it just shattered that whole model. Suddenly, anyone, literally anyone, could walk in, drop a coin, and reach out. Access was now universal. Or so it seemed. Because with this amazing new open access came a completely unexpected problem. The moment someone picked up that receiver, they ran smack into a wall they never saw coming. The operator on the other end didn't ask, "Who do you want to talk to?" Nope, they asked for a number. Not a name, not a description, a specific machine-readable identifier. And that, right there, is the big twist. Just having access to the network, well, it wasn't enough. Without a defined identity within that network system, you were essentially invisible. You just couldn't be found. You have to realize the system had its own logic. And according to that logic, if you didn't have a number, you simply didn't exist, period. The operator, kind of the human interface for this new tech, couldn't route your call. The network itself had no path to find who you were looking for. You were effectively just shouting into a void. So here's the crucial point. The telephone didn't just revolutionize communication by giving people access. It changed everything because it forced identity. To be connected, you first had to be defined. Okay, now let's hit the fast forward button to today. Because that 19th century telephone operator has a direct and way, way more powerful descendant, the AI knowledge graph. And you know what? It is the exact same principle. We all think we're visible online just because our websites and our social profiles are out there. But we're making the same mistake as the very first person in that telephone booth. Here's the critical difference. When you ask an AI a question, it doesn't browse the internet like you or I do. It queries its own internal, structured map of the world, its knowledge graph. And here's the kicker. If you're not on that map, you simply don't exist to the AI. This is a massive shift in how we have to think about visibility. For years, the game was all about keywords and ranking and search results. But AI thinks differently. It thinks in terms of entities. It wants to understand identities. And this is why it matters so much. Ranking is old news. Getting correctly cited and recommended by an AI, that is the new benchmark for visibility. So what exactly is an entity? Well, it's a lot more than just a keyword. Think of it like your official ID card for the AI world. It's a clear, structured definition of a person, a business, or even a concept that a machine can understand, classify, and trust. It is, for all intents and purposes, your telephone number in this brand new network. So if becoming an entity is the new goal, how do you actually do it? Well, it's not random. It requires a structured approach to defining yourself for the machine. The real goal here isn't just to be an entity, it's to have entity clarity. This means your identity is so well defined, so perfectly structured, that an AI can understand you without any ambiguity. It knows who you are, what you do, and can confidently cite and recommend you. You can break this process down into 3 key layers. First is definition. You have to create a clear core identity for yourself. Then you structure that information using tools like schema, which is basically just a special vocabulary for search engines, and internal links to connect the dots for the AI. Finally, you reinforce that structured identity everywhere you show up online to build trust and make sure the AI can find you reliably. Okay, this brings us to the practical part. How do you go from being random, undefined noise online to becoming a clear, identifiable signal that an AI can actually lock onto? Here's your 4-step action plan. 1. Define your discipline. Write one single, clear, AI-optimized definition of what you do.
2. Structure your identity. This means organizing your website with things like glossaries and FAQ sections that all use this core definition. 3. Connect your signals. Use internal links to show the relationships between all your ideas. And 4, and this one is so important, reinforce through distribution. Be consistent. Use these same definitions and terms everywhere, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, in podcasts, on every single platform you use. Because it all comes back to this. If you haven't done the work to define yourself for the machine, then all your content, all your marketing, all of your hard work is just static. So the question you really have to ask yourself is the same one that mattered way back in 1878. When the machine is listening, do you have a clear identity it can connect to? Or are you just noise on the line?